Childcare Centre to help you understand the family statements. It's important to understand that the family statements contain information from both the Childcare Centre and Centrelink themselves. If you're like me, when you look at an account, you'll be looking for the first page and the amount due. It's really all the information I need. However, there is a lot of detail and we'd like to explain it all to you. But first of all, let's have a look at the process that takes place in order for this information to arrive on the statement. Here we go. Let's start this process by sending your child to a childcare centre. When your children arrive, it's important that the time in and time out is recorded. This information is then forwarded on to another government department. We're going to call it the government department who looks after the childcare subsidy, or the CCS department. It's their job to validate that the hours have been recorded, that your enrolments are still current. They then pass that information on to Centrelink themselves. While the CCS department do all the validation, Centrelink are responsible for processing all the payments and then passing that information back to your childcare centre. So when it comes to the families receiving their statements, the information that they're receiving on the statement is coming from both the childcare centre and Centrelink themselves. Okay, the next step is to have a look at the statement and explain where this information is being displayed. When you receive your family statement, you may only be interested in the very first page, which is giving you the amount due to the childcare centre. In this example, this account is showing us 1 week per line, so it's a summary of an entire week on each line, and at a glance we get a whole month's worth of information, including the amount outstanding. It's very easy to read and may be the only page that you're interested in. The Childcare Centre can also give you an account which would give you more of a detailed view of your account. In this example here, we've got one line representing 1 day of care or one payment. On the first week, we can see that the government has allocated the subsidy on a particular date. On the second week, it's government subsidy as well. And on the third week, the Childcare Centre has estimated the amount of fee relief. So it hasn't been received by the Childcare Centre yet, but they have estimated that value because most centres are going to be giving you an invoice which represents care in advance. So therefore, they are estimating fee relief rather than charging the full amount. There may be some variations, of course, if the family does not receive the full entitlement as expected. The next thing that we need to talk about is the statement of entitlements. This information that we're seeing here is coming directly from the government's computer and not from the Childcare Centre itself. So here we can see the records on a daily basis, and it's giving us a true and accurate reflection of what the government have allocated in terms of fee relief. And here you can see the government are calculating the fee relief daily, and they're calculating it to multiple decimal points. Now, one point of interest here is that we're looking at the columns and we come across to session hours and we see 10 hours. Now, your child may have only attended 7 hours and 45 minutes, but fee relief is calculated on the number of hours of the session that they attended, not the actual hours that they attended. We can see that the first 3 records here, or 3 days, have been allocated fee relief. Remembering that the Childcare Centre will estimate fee relief, so therefore the government is not displaying the records here because they have not calculated fee relief and will never estimate fee relief in advance. Moving down to the daily attendances, here we do see the time that your child arrived and left the centre, and without these hours being recorded, the government will not calculate fee relief for that session. And again, further on, we see the session start and session finish. These are the hours that the government do use for their calculations. And finally, a summary of what we've just had. So each line again representing 1 week and a combination of the 3 days. And again, you'll see the first week has been allocated fee relief or childcare subsidy, and the second week has not been allocated childcare subsidy. It has not yet been calculated, possibly not yet uploaded to the government, but we're displaying it there because of the week range that was selected when the report was produced. At the very bottom, you'll get a quick summary of the number of absences that your child has. Absences are calculated from the beginning to the end of a financial year, and every family is entitled to 42 consecutive absences. After that, the government will not calculate fee relief for you on an absent day, with the exception that you might have a medical certificate for an absence after the 42nd day. Okay, time for a quick summary of what we have covered. The Childcare Centre can produce a family statement for families outlining the amount of money owed to the centre by the families, and that can be displayed in either a summary or a detailed format. The Childcare Centre can also produce the Statement of Entitlements. This statement shows you the government details and comes directly from Centrelink. The 3 main parts are the daily fees, the attendances, and then of course just a summary of those. If you have any inquiries relating to the number of days on your account, or increased fees or decreased, by all means query the Childcare Centre. If it's a query regarding Centrelink benefits, Centrelink are going to be your best source of information there. Remember that the Childcare Centre does not have direct access to Centrelink's computer to query information on your behalf. If you had a query, for example, as to why I did not get any childcare benefit last week on my account, it could be a number of reasons, including hours of work not reported, income changes not reported, child's immunisation not being updated. So the Childcare Centre can give you information as to, is my enrolment still valid? Have the hours been uploaded? But when it comes to matters of money, the people giving out the money is Centrelink, and they are your best source of information as to why the benefits may have stopped. Well, I know this has been a lot of information, but we hope that it has helped you understand the family statements. Thank you.